we're not even at the artificial general intelligence level. So we're at now only at the artificial narrow intelligence. So ChatGPT 4 is artificial narrow intelligence. And this is a type of AI that we see in day-to-day life, right? Where it performs a single task, whether it's checking the weather, being able to play chess with you, answering customer service questions with your chatbot. All right. They can only do what they're programmed to do, and they don't have any understanding or consciousness beyond that. For example, if you take a chess playing program and you ask it to drive a car or recognize a face, it won't be able to do it because it's only trained to play chess. So it lacks artificial consciousness or cognitive ability. And right now it's still inferior to human intelligence. So it's known as weak AI, but it still can do quite a bit, right? It can do speech recognition, automation, mobility, planning, adaptability, learning and reasoning, right, to a degree, right? So people have been working on this in the past 50 years, and ChatGPT 4 is the beginning of the transition away from artificial narrow intelligence and the beginning of artificial general intelligence. Now, the thing here, before I go into artificial general intelligence, we have to realize that for the past 50 years, we have developed machine learning and neural nets. And machine learning is a subset of AI. It's a method of data analysis that automates analytical model building. It's a branch of artificial intelligence based on the idea that systems can learn from data, identifying patterns, and making decisions with minimal human intervention. Machine learning is based on artificial neural networks. So neural networks are computing systems inspired by biological neural networks that constitute animal brains, human brains, and they are key parts of deep learning. So the deep learning, right, the machine learning core is the neural network, a subset of machine learning, which is a category of artificial intelligence. And this deep neural network is composed of layers or nodes or neurons, and each at which performs simple computation and pass the result on to the next layer of neurons. And these layers are typically categorized in input layer, right? That's the layer that receives the input information, the hidden layer. These are the layers between the input layer and the output layer where computation is done. And then we have and any number of hidden layers could be happening within the neural network, depending on its complexity and capacity. And then we have the output layer, and this is the final layer that produces the result of the computation performed by the neural network. So, by the way, I've been using neural networks for almost 10 years now with my software, my financial forecasting software. And, that's one of the reasons when I ran the neural net back in, somewhere between 2010 and 2015, I ran a neural net projection on Bitcoin, and I started going, the neural net was making very incredible forecast projections, which has been more or less on track, meaning that it projected by 2032, Bitcoin would hit $1 million. And it's just recently that Cathie Wood said if Bitcoin continues to keep going up at least 30% a year, as of this year, it will hit $1 million by 2030. So we'll see who was right. But the neural net was already showing me that. And I was using the astrology combined with the machine learning of the deep neural network and seeing what it would project out. And this is an example. We already have this technology, but now, right, we can take the technology at another level. So we're doing this now with everything. We're doing it, ChatGPT 4 is not just doing it with just making financial forecasts. It's doing it in every sector, in every factor, in every way. So we're now transitioning away from narrow AI to, right, strong AI, all right, because there's different types of artificial intelligence. So, right, we have reactive machines. This is the most basic AI system. So this would be like IBM's Deep Blue system, which can only play chess, right? The Deep Blue system. It could probably do other things, but that was the big thing that it did, right? Or Google's AlphaGo. Then you have a limited memory system, and these machines can learn from the past data to make decisions through the data is accessible only for a limited time. So they don't have access to this data set. And this would include like chatbots, self-driving cars, virtual assistants, etc. So that's a limited memory AI. And then you have the theory of mind AI, the theory of mind AI. And this would understand and interact with people, creatures, emotions, and objects in the world. And then you have the self-awareness AI, and that's considered the final stage of AI development. Self-aware machines would possess their own consciousness and self-awareness. So we are transitioning away from the, let's say, we're out of the reactive level. We're now in a limited level, although right now, as I work with the ChatGPT and I'm training it in mundane astrology and horary astrology, and it does get things wrong, but then I correct it, I train it, and then I'll give it a test. They'll say, okay, make a forecast on X, Y, and Z on something, right? And we see that it gets better and better, and it's learning faster and faster and faster. It's getting better. And probably within a few more months, it will be as good as I am as a mundane astrologer, let's say, right? Theoretically speaking. But it's got a, right? It's got a limited memory, right? It doesn't have, right? It doesn't know it's interacting with me. I still have to go through like 16 prompts. Okay, this is William Stickevers. It knows who, yes, I know who you, okay, who am I? You're an astrologer. We go through this before we can get to that level. It's not immediate theory of mind. I know who you are. I know where we left off. Let's keep talking, right? So it's not there yet, but we're moving there. And we'll talk about the timeline in a moment. So we have, right, we have the soft AI or the narrow intelligence AI. And now we're transitioning over into the artificial general intelligence. And this type of AI would be able to understand, learn, and apply its intelligence to any intellectual task that a human being can. It's what we see in science fiction, sentient machines that can perform any task that a human can. So we don't have that just yet, but we're moving there. It can solve any unfamiliar problem. It doesn't have to be programmed. It doesn't have to be built into its data set, right? And the purpose behind artificial general intelligence is to make a system that is smarter and can act like a human on its own. And right now it doesn't currently exist. This is because they still need to get the software and the hardware up to a certain level, right? So the supercomputer, the Tiny 2, holds the record for 33.86 petaflops or quadrillions of calculations per second. However, the human brain is capable significantly more of 1 exaflop or 1 billion calculations per second. So your brain right now, believe it or not, can do 1 exaflop, right, or 1 billion CPUs a second. The best AI that we have, right, can only do 33.86 petaflops. So it would need to go to 100 petaflops, right? It would need to go significantly higher, right? It would need to so we're nowhere, we're not there. Once we can get a computer to go to 1 exaflop or 1 billion calculations per second, then we reach parity. But we do have an idea at the rate of development, we're going to hit that level.
To watch the full presentation and more like this on geopolitics, the economy, and world events from an archetypal and mundane astrological perspective, join the Global Transformation Astrology membership. Go to gta.williamstickevers.com. Become a GTA member today.